Last night, one of next weekend's Challenge Cup finalists took a huge fall. Now the Bulls have the chance to claim a massive psychological advantage ahead of the big day. But more important, they're after 2 Super League points against Hull, one of their major rivals for the top 5. This is the way Hull line up: Prescott, Rayner, Horn, Bird and Crowther, Cook and Smith. Broadbent, King and Craven up front, Felch, Grimaldi the skipper, and Jason Smith is the loose forward. And on the bench, Jackson, Fletcher, Carvel and Campbell. The coach is Sean McRae. Now the Bradford Bulls, the team currently standing second in the table. Spruce at fullback, Gilmore, Naylor, Regon and Price. Paul and Paul at halfback, the captain. Up front, Wangener, Lowe's, McDermott, Gartner, Peacock and Forshaw. And the substitutes, Deacon, Anderson, Bradford, Fielden. The coach is Brian Noble. The match referee here is Stuart Cummings. Hull beat Bradford Bulls 28-12 here last September in round 28. It was the last match before the playoffs. It was Hull's first win in 8 attempts against the Bulls in Super League. But hopes are high in this part of the world that perhaps it'll be a second Super League win for the men in the black and white irregular hoops tonight. We're underway. Paul Cook gets the game in motion. Stuart Spruce will run it back. First tackle of the match on the Bradford Bulls fullback. Steve-O, a huge night for Hull, and after last night, a huge night for Bradford.
Well, they're hoping that Bradford will have their minds set on the Challenge Cup final. It was quite obvious at St Helens. It certainly went through their brain box. Will it be the same here for the Bulls? I don't think so. Brian Noble, their coach, has made it quite clear they will put out the best team possible, and they want these 2 Super League points at all costs.
Well, the defeat against Wakefield just before Easter made absolutely certain that Brian Noble wouldn't be resting any of his players here, and he's got a virtually full-strength squad on hand. He hasn't got Tavita Vicona, the Bradford coach. He's out injured, and Michael Withers also is an injury doubt, bearing in mind what's coming up next week. But other than that, these players here are not only playing for Super League points, they're playing for a place in the sunshine at Twickenham. Hull, though, all they've got on their mind is Super League and finishing in the top 5. And Sean McRae's team, Steve-O, are tipped by many not only just to make it to the top 5, but actually pinch a top 3 place as well.
Wouldn't surprise me. They really are buoyed at the moment. They're playing some absolutely sensational rugby league football. Tony Smith, Paul Cook, the 2 halfbacks, they're combining well. But young Richard Horn in the centres, he's the man to watch.
And in possession of the football now for Sean McRae's team. Plays the ball just inside his own half of the field. There's the kick. It comes in from the immaculate Jason Smith. The ball bounces twice and a little bit bobbly for Stuart Spruce. Eventually the Bradford fullback picks it up. Good chase as well, led by Horn. He was in there very quickly, and so too Matt Crowther. Oh, there's a mistake.
Enormous mistake there.
Naylor was looking to get rid of the ball from the dummy half and dropped it.
You've got to have your mind on the job, and they certainly didn't on that occasion. They were very slow to get back. Interesting, both the kicks from Hull have been to turn around the fullback Stuart Spruce. They feel perhaps he is the weak link in this Bradford outfit.
It's Hull with the possession from the scrum. Richard Horn went round Naylor, who got him across the chest. He was finished off by Mike Forshaw. Tony Grimaldi, the Hull captain, in at dummy half, 10 metres away. Bradford hanging off. Wangener eventually, and Forshaw again getting the tackle in. But Hull right in front of those Bradford sticks. Here now is Steve Craven on the charge. His 140th appearance for Hull tonight. Good ball to Tony Smith, the engineer-in-chief for Hull. He slipped the net, he's over the line, flicked it back. Peacock dropped on it for Bradford, and the Bulls escape.
Scrambling defence there, it had to be as well. Tony Smith through the dummy, and this Bradford defence is all at sea. Shook them off, went high, and I'm not so sure that that was flicked out. I thought a Bradford hand and flicked it out with more than one in attendance.
The ball has come clear again, but referee Stuart Cummings' whistle blows. It's a penalty. This is for stealing the ball in the tackle, this time by Hull.
Well, Bradford get the penalty, and rightly so. It was 2-on-1, but the previous attempt, this is where Smith went close. Definitely the ball is ripped clear, yeah. Wangener was the culprit, not seen by the officials. Big let-off for the Bulls there.
Well, that wasn't spotted. The penalty for Bradford was. That's why the Bulls are in possession just about 5 metres inside their own half of the field. McDermott now to Robbie Paul. Gets the ball away to brother Henry. Not the best pass, it misses too and bounces to Price, and it was forward.
Well, I couldn't believe that. Henry Paul threw the most immaculate dummy, and there was a huge gap opened up, and then the ball just kept going.
Well,
there was a massive hole there.
Steve-O, how is this a forward pass? Because momentum rule, he's finished up in front of the football.
Well, we better ask Stuart Cummings, the man in the middle, but
Prescott now for Hull.
That's the second occasion that the official has missed it.
Cook gets it away to Smith, wide it is, and they've found Crowther on that wing. He's cutting inside, tall Matt Crowther. Interesting, this young man. He is the Super League leading point scorer with 70 going into this weekend's round of matches. But here is Tony Smith. Good goal back to Jason Smith. On it goes to Paul Broadbent. And it's Gartner and also McDermott in there with the tackle. Now then Jason Smith, he's all over the field. Lovely ball. Craven! Craven's over the line. Has momentum taken him there? It's a decision for the video referee. The Threatening Standards, they think that he has got a try, Steve Craven.
So do I. All in one movement. Is it on the line?
That's in the line, yes.
Well, I think it's on the line, but
I think it's the other side of the line.
Is it a metre short? Oh, I could lose my 100% record here. I'll say no try.
Ball tackle, ball tackle.
I could lose it.
I don't know, it depends what he sees.
But I'm going to go that Craven has just gone short by a fraction, and yes, it is. And does he move it? Is that going to be classified as a second movement? The double movement will give the penalty, or is it just a turnover? Either way, I'll go for NOTRY.
Well, I think it actually was on the fourth tackle, Steve. You can probably hear Stuart Cummings in the background.
Well, the first impact.
It's a fourth tackle, so if it is no try, it'll be just play on with the ball, won't it?
He's just short. But I know one thing, this Bradford Bull defence, they will get a right shellacking from Brian Noble. He'll send the message out. They are not in the mood in defensive qualities. They're going far too high. They don't want to mix it. Quite obvious, even early in this match, they've got the Challenge Cup on their mind. And their coach was pretty confident, but this will go NOTRY, I'm sure.
He's got a 100% record this year, has Mr. Stevenson. It's on the fourth tackle. So this now is going to be the last tackle, and the ball will be brought back to the play the ball on the spot where the tackle was in the end completed. So the last tackle, and it's with Smith, and it goes wide to Jason Smith. Peacock got to him, and it's the turnover.
Well, it's a bit scrappy there. Jason Smith didn't want to let go of the football.
The referee had the count correct. He was saying all the way through that that incident that was looked at by the video referee was on the 4th, and so it was restarted on the 5th.
Well, the whole coach, Sean McRae, told me yesterday that they would well and truly get into the faces of this Bulls outfit. They wanted to feel it, their fire and brimstone very early in the game, and they've done that. But Bradford's defence has got to sort itself out. Bit more effort, boys.
Stuart Spruce on the charge up to the halfway line. That's the last tackle for Bradford. Lowe's will spin the ball to Peacock, and Peacock will put the kick in. This will run deep though, and too deep and dead.
We don't often see the big fella going for the kick-in motion.
So it's Hull's turn now to try and work the ball away from their own line.
Great opportunity in many ways.
Gareth Rayner tried to get up off the ground and play the ball quickly. Referee wouldn't have it. That's not the best penalty from the number 16, Paul Cook.
Well, it did get over the touchline, which is the most important. It's important that Hull score now, because They know that Bradford are a bit uneasy at the moment. Oh, that's gone to nobody.
Horn tried to flick the pass away, and he was looking for Crowther on his outside.
Nice in and out there, and you can see there that Crowther had just set off to come back midfield.
Richard Horn, though, he has tied his colours to the Hull mast and the mast of Rugby League, and everybody in the game is delighted about that. He has extended his contract with Hull in the last couple of weeks, and the Predators from Rugby Union have to look elsewhere.
Good tackle there, and he just knocked on.
And Henry Paul is saying the ball was knocked out of his grasp after the tackle was completed, but the touch judge and referee have other ideas.
He just lost it. Paul Cook was trying to get away from him. He just lost the ball. Good hit there by Henry Paul.
Just going back to the no try by the video referee against this fellow in possession, Steve Craven. His last try for Hull was August 1999, and he thought he had punctuated his 140th appearance for Hull with that touchdown. But it was not to be, said the video referee. So it's 0-0 here still at the Boulevard. Smith to Grimaldi.
Just a little bit too flat there. Dummy runner just more or less getting in the way of the Hull captain.
Tony Smith. Now here's Craven again, running strongly at McDermott.
Now then, will Hull come from the change of direction? Will it do that, doing the crisscross?
Tony Smith stabbed the ball in. Penalty against Bradford. They were all offside. The referee was allowing Hull to see how the move would develop. Offside. Now a chance for 2 points here, or will they go for 4? No, they're going for the kick.
Well, that surprises me. I would have thought that they would try to get the momentum. Not a bad little effort from Tony Smith, though it did ricochet away. And the officials do it coming. It's quite happy to see whether there was any advantage to the Hull side. It wasn't. Well, I'm surprised. I really would have gone for the possession here. This is giving Bradford time, and also, as you can see, the water carriers run on. They're not thirsty. It's just a message being sent out. That I am so sure.
Well, Steve-O, in a match of this importance between second and third, surely you, even at this early stage, you can't spurn the opportunity of 2 very valuable points, because this fella's in fine kicking form.
Yeah, but the 6 points and running Bradford off their feet would have a stronger psychological effect. Not to be.
Well, this for a 2-point lead. Matt Crowther, 25 goals so far this season and 5 points, 5 tries rather, 70 points. That's now 72 points for the season for him, but more importantly on the night, 2 to Hull and 0 to Bradford. So the most attack-minded team in the competition. 178 points before tonight for Sean McRae and his team, more than any other side. And in Matt Crowther they have Super League's leading point scorer, as I say. But Sean there shaking his head. Maybe he's with you, Steve-O. Maybe he thinks they should have gone for broke. Ryan Noble.
Well, you can see them, both coaches have the walkie-talkies. They can get down to
Right, no penalties.
their allies on the sideline, but sometimes, you know, in decisions like that, when you're right down at pitch level, you can get the shout, gesticulate to the captain and say, let's put the pressure on. And I think he had the same frame of mind as I had.
Gareth Rayner takes the tackle, former Leeds reserve. Rayner, that's a good run. Good strong run again from Steve Craven.
Working overtime, isn't he?
Paul King, the dummy half, on it goes to Broadbent. Broadbent trundling it up the middle before he was tackled, and the ball wasn't played properly, but the referee lets Tony Smith go on.
Well, there was interference there from James Lowes. That is good refereeing from Cummings.
It's the last tackle here, though. Cook gets the ball away. Smith off the outside of the boot. One for them all to chase. Oh, Price and Robbie Paul nearly making a meal of it. Robbie Paul, the captain of Bradford, taking the situation into his own hands. Good call.
Well, again, we see for the 3rd time that Hull quite happy to hoist the high bomb down the centre of the field. They failed yet to apply any pressure to the 2 wingers, Gilmore and Price.
Henry Paul plays the ball to James Lowes. It comes this way to Daniel Gartner. Good tackling by Paul Cook. Robbie Paul, little dummy, then comes down the short side and he finds Rigon. Rigon's pass then is a poor one. Gartner is the man who reacted quickest, and it's the last tackle here for Bradford. Wasn't touched in flight by Hull arm. Henry Paul with the kick then downfield, and this will well, it will now stand up because Prescott played at it and the fullback did well in the end.
Well, I'm not so sure. That was really spinning away. It might have been better served to allow that to go. It was going at some pace. Still safety first. He's been around a long time, Steve Prescott.
Yes, back here in his second spell at Hull. He was here 1998-99 briefly. A try against St Helens, his former club, on Monday for the Hull fullback. They ran St Helens oh so close. Knock on here. Good stiff tackling by Joe Vangener and by James Lowes. And Craven is adjudged to have lost the ball.
There's been help there, wasn't it? And he did lose control. Got it back quickly. Not according to the official. Well, he's having a great opening 13 minutes, isn't he, Steve Craven? Denied a few moments ago. By inches, in fact.
Ryan McDermott takes a breather, and on comes the reigning young player of the year, Stuart Fielder. Robbie to Henry. Wide it goes to Naylor.
Beautiful defence there by Richard Horne. You can see how he forced Naylor to go on the outside. Not much room there.
Joe Vangener, the heavyweight of this very big Bradford front row. Now it's Peacock. Peacock trying to spin in the tackle. Paul Broadbent was injured there. He's a little bit slow to get back to his feet in the defensive line. Lowes to Fielden. On it goes then to Spruce. Here is Gartner. And Gartner stands in the tackle. And play on, says the referee. He wasn't held. It's a try. Now then.
We'll go to the screen to check whether he's got it right.
Well, Stuart Cummings shouted play on because he thought the tackle wasn't completed. And Daniel Gartner's claiming the try. It's up to the video referee.
Well, he wants to see now whether it's stopped, but I'm with you, Eddie. I thought that there was a shout. Now then, as he released him, as he let go of him, this will have to go to the slow motion replay as to whether the youngster has let go of him. He has. Paul Cook. This will be TRY time. The standoff. Cook went for him, released him, and if Gartner is deemed to still be in motion, and I think he is, he's released there. It's a split-second decision for the video referee, but I'm going to go for TRY. This is the impact. Oh, now then. Oh, this is difficult. And they'll go there. He still has hold of him. No try, I'm going for.
No try, says Steve-O. No, the first mistake of the year from Steve-O. Try is given. You could have got 6-1 on that tonight. Gartner gets the try, and the first blunder from Steve-O on the video reffing this year.
Well, I think he's wrong.
Well, you would.
Well, they went to the slow motion replay, and when the ball carrying arm hit the deck, I'm sure that Cook still had hold of the man. He still had contact with the boot. And I'd like to watch that a dozen times, and I'll bet my house on that you can't spot any different.
Great kick from Henry Paul. Bradford are ahead by 6 points to 2. A controversial try then for Gartner. Let's have a look at it again then. There's the tackle.
There, as soon as the ball carrying there, it's still onto his boot. So
he's not got hold of him at all.
He's still holding the boot. You don't have to tackle him. If you put your hand on the back of a man and it hits the ground, the tackle is complete.
The boot, well, he wasn't holding on to the boot for a start.
You don't have to, as long as you're touching him. It's completed the tackle. I knew they'd get it wrong.
Of course, well, you never do. We know this. Forshaw now for Bradford. 6-2 they lead, and a quarter of an hour of the match gone. Vangener. Tackled. Lowes. Henry Paul did well, and he's gone for a 40-20 here. I don't think he's got it.
Just short.
Such judge will say he is just short. It was a 40-25. Very close, but it was a booming kick.
Not bad from you. It was 15:25 on the dot. Only an hour out.
Oh, I see. You can't let everyone around the country who's watching this though point to the clock in the corner of the screen.
I'm sure the viewers have a clock somewhere in their house.
Penalty.
And the sun's not out.
Oh, we're going to be one of those nights. Is it 16 minutes of the match gone? And Bradford are ahead by 6 points to 2. And Craven in possession for Hull, who have had a try turned down by the video ref. The try has been approved by the video ref for Bradford. Jason Smith, tackled by James Lowes and also by Wangener. Here's Tony Smith, on it goes. Then that was a beautiful ball from Cook. This is Grimaldi. Grimaldi is hit through. Here he is. He's over the line this time. There'll be no need to refer this one. And Tony Grimaldi comes up. It's his 34th consecutive appearance in Super League, and Grimaldi has come up with a try for Hull that makes the scores level. It was always going to be a big challenge for Bradford, this.
Super play. Great setup there by the youngster. Paul Cook just delayed his pass. Superb for the skipper. The best attempt from the full-back, though. Stuart Spruce, very good in attack, but he has his problems in defence. And that'll show you the reason why. He never appears to go for the legs. He always goes high, and 99 times out of 100, he usually gets brushed away, and Grimaldi has taken full advantage. But a wonderful pass there from the youngster, Paul Cook.
And Grimaldi, who enjoys playing in the Boulevard with tries against Salford and Halifax also. And a chance here for Matt Crowther, from almost exactly the same spot as he slotted home the penalty not long ago, to give Hull a 2-point lead again. Makes no mistake from that range, does Matt Crowther. It's 8-6 to Hull. Tony Grimaldi's try, and Sean McRae watching carefully.
Well, it was a beautiful pass. Led him straight through the gap. Fully deserved as well.
Well, Grimaldi, the man who actually played in the 1998 Australian Grand Final for Canterbury against Brisbane, he scored a try in the 38-12 defeat. Short kick-off here by the Bulls. Palm back by Fielden to Robbie Paul. Grimaldi, try-scorer, try-saver there with a good tackle. It needed to be a good tackle as well. Forshaw.
Without a doubt, they had Shane Regan outside him. But he got that ball away. Regan would have a simple run to the line.
Wangener to his feet, plays the ball to Lowes. The call was from Fielden on his left-hand side. Hull were waiting for him in numbers. Tackle low by King and helped out there by Grimaldi. Now then, it's with Henry Paul, and they go wide to Naylor, who had to stand to wait for that ball to reach him. And the tackle then from Richard Horne. And here is Lee Gilmore, away from 2, almost away from 3. That's the last. They're 10 metres away from the line here. And it's with Robbie Paul. He tried to stab it through. Grimaldi has picked up. Ball then back to Cook again.
Not the best kick there from Robbie. Grimaldi, he really has been around to save the day. Previous to that, it was a wonderful tackle on Henry Paul when they were short on the blind side.
This is Gareth Rayner now. He was almost through. He got away from Price. The tackle's not completed. It is now, courtesy of Fielden and Price, but he got away from Shane Rigon.
Well,
King the dummy half.
The try from Grimaldi really has lifted this whole side.
Quick play the ball. Dion Bird. Wide it goes. And this is Luke Felsh.
They've had most of the football in the whole outfit, and they are using it well.
Smith. Great kick. That's hanging in the air. Oh, and he took it well, did Stuart Spruce. Diffused it behind the try line, diffusing the bomb. Tap on the 20. We're underway. But the referee wants it back, and he says, play on my whistle.
Gotta get them all offside first.
It's a new rule. We've got to get all onside.
Wait.
Good take, though, by Stuart Spruce. It was a difficult kick. Swirling around, and it is a swirling wind here.
Let's go.
the East Coast. It was pretty close to the post there.
Right, tackle one. And now.
It's a tense match here. We've had a quarter of the game. Hull are ahead by 8 points to 6. Lowe's, it's on the bounce, and Spruce retains possession for the Bradford Bulls. Lowe's again. Anderson's on. He's dropped it. Scrum will go down. Let's hear first time this evening from Phil Clark on the sideline. Phil, it's pretty tense.
It is. I was just about to say Bradford have played their joker. Not that I'm saying Paul Anderson looks like one. Whenever he comes onto the field, he's had a massive impact this year. Not the impact that Brian Noble would want just then. Hull now back on the attack. I think the three key players for Hull, not only today but for the rest of the season, Jason Smith, Tony Smith and Paul Cook. If those three guys can really fire, then I think Hull can challenge anybody this year.
Well, they're certainly challenging Bradford Bulls tonight, and that's a good run coming in there from Paul King.
Well, they're working it hard in the forwards, and they really are bossing it out there.
The two Smiths and a lovely run around. Phelps has hit the gap. Jason Smith, he's clawed to ground.
Could be a penalty there.
It was. Someone is down though for Bradford, so they're short in defence. Tony Smith runs into a brick wall. It's play on. Broadbent. It's Stuart Fielding who's flat out. This is the last tackle. Meanwhile, for Hull, 10 metres away. Jason Smith showed it. Tried to get away from Gardner. Releases the pass. Crowther. On it goes.
Back to 6.
Grimaldi. And Rigon, well, he's knocked it forward there. It was charged down, and then it was certainly knocked on. No doubt.
Head and feed to the Hull side. They're running hot. They've got this Bradford side well and truly confused in defence. Bird perhaps just overrun it, but Rigon came to the rescue. But there's going to be more pressure as there's problems for Fielden.
Yes, he's coming off. He's obviously very groggy. A very heavy collision. And around about the 4th tackle, that set of 6. And he will come off, and the man who he replaced, Brian McDermott, goes straight back on.
Well, he went through a lot of work, did McDermott in the defensive side. Some wonderful tackles in the opening 5-6 minutes. It had to be as well, a couple of try saves.
That's a blood bin, though. It's been reversed. This is Steve Prescott. Henry Paul with the tackle, completed by Scott Naylor. Richard, it's now with Paul, oh dearie me, I will get it right in a moment. Richard Horn. This is Steve Craven. Ball down, 3 metres short of the line. Cook again at dummy half, looping pass to Tony Smith. Wide it goes. Good play here by Paul Cook. Screams for a penalty. Not forthcoming.
That's what he said.
Broadbent. Felsh, good tackling. Shot out of the line then, did Henry Paul.
It was a big gamble as well from Henry.
Jason Smith, great kick. Price went for it, Rayner went for it, knock on by Rayner. No try. Referee's whistle had blown, no try.
He got a fingertip to it as soon as it hit the ground. The official knew that it was going to be the turnover. But it's a confident display here from Hull. That kick, Wilk went for it. And it could very well have gone Gareth Rayner's way. He must be happy, even though it's only a 2-point lead. But he knows that he's marked most of the possession, Bradford, yet to start bossing this game.
Sean McRae, the Hull coach here, the only man to have coached the side in every one of the 132 weekly rounds of Super League now, albeit for 3 clubs, St Helens, Gateshead, and here he is at Hull. And with his major off-season signings, 9 of them, he has fashioned a team here that will challenge the best, and they are challenging the best here in the Bradford Bulls. We saw Stuart Fielding leave the field earlier, blood bin reversal with Brian McDermott. What news of him, Bill?
Well, it's good news for Bulls fans, of course, with one eye on the Challenge Cup final next Saturday at Twickenham. Big Stuart Fielding has shaken off that knock. He did get a knock as well, was a little bit groggy as he walked down the touchline, but quick squirt of water down the back of his neck and a bit of a breather, and he seems to be okay and should be able to come back on. But it's obvious from the way that the Bulls very quickly decided to take him off, the word coming down via Carl Harrison, Brian Noble's assistant, get him off the pitch. They really don't want to take any risks today.
No, there'll be no risks, that's for sure. And Hull at the moment bossing this match in terms of possession and also on the scoreboard. The chip over the top, it bounces kindly for Leon Price. Now the The tall fellow will try and go round two and does, but in the end he is hauled to ground by Richard Horn. Just a quick reminder, by the way, you'll be able to see highlights from Twickenham with Bill and Phil next Saturday at 10:30 over on Sky Sports 1. The 100th Challenge Cup final between the Bradford Bulls, who we're watching here, and St Helens, who we watched last night, being absolutely taken to the cleaners by the Warrington Wolves. It's the Silk Cut Challenge Cup final then next Saturday, and enjoy highlights with us on Sky Sports 1 next Saturday night.
And there's little doubt in my mind, Eddie, that some of these Bradford players have got that in mind. They really are a little bit all at sea.
No, that mirrors what you've just said.
Well, then, was it touch?
He's saying...
Jimmy Lowe said that it was, and it was touch, so they'll get head and feed.
Yes, it was an attempted charge down. Jason Smith it was.
Doesn't mind having a little bit of a natter, does he, James Lowes, with... oh, look at that. Great camera work. Superb stuff, that.
Well, Bradford are in possession. That was a lovely ball from Henry Paul to Rigon. He has this ability, Henry Paul. He sort of dummies to make the pass and just throws it up, catches it again himself, and then bullets the pass into the breadbasket of Rigon.
And it was coming out the right angle as well. It was a good job that Steve Prescott read it well too. It was good defence.
Foreshore away, it goes to Lowe's. Here now is Robbie Paul. Back then to Peacock. And Peacock is grounded 20 metres away by the flying tackle of Paul King, but pushing and shoving and messing around at the play of the ball. It's a penalty to Bradford. They're going to kick for goal.
Well, they were trying to take his shorts off. Pretty difficult to play the football when Paul King was trying to remove the shorts. Tense time for Brian Noble. Well, he knew it wasn't going to be easy. Never is when you come to the Boulevard.
Henry Paul doesn't waste any time at all in lining up his kicks, does he? It's 8-all at the Boulevard. Hull and Bradford slugging it out here toe to toe. The Bullman, I think he knows that his players are in a bit of a scrap.
Well, they know that, don't worry. This whole pack is really taking it to them. And I'm sure that Sean McRae, the Hull coach, is somewhat disappointed that they haven't got more points on the board.
The good, the bad, and the all ugly, eh? And who's the ugly? But look at that alongside it. They apologise to you at the Boulevard. They think you're pretty okay, really.
I thought that was Telly Savalas.
Why were you sucking a lollipop? Oh, now that's a significant move. Lee Jackson's on for Paul King. There he is, Jackson immediately into the action, number 9. And Sean McRae said he thought that it would be pretty boisterous early on here against the Bradford Bulls. He thought King was the man for that, and then Lee Jackson could come on and maybe exploit some of the tired defence. Well, we shall see. Spruce, poor ball.
Coming up with the mistakes there. There was nothing wrong with the pass there from the fullback Spruce.
Naylor just couldn't take it in. Hull have got it back then.
Well, even though Hull are getting into their faces, that was really not a pressure mistake. I must say, the one thing that Hull perhaps have got to be wary of, not to sort of just upset this Bradford outfit. If there's a bit of a flare-up, it might just spark the Bulls into action.
Craven with the drive in, 29 minutes gone, all square at the Boulevard. A great contest developing here between two fine sides. Smith gets the ball away to Felch. Felch is tackled by Peacock and by Naylor. Now Jason Smith on to Tony Smith. Grimaldi's the runner.
Nice delayed pass yet again. This time they were equal to it. Good tackle.
Last one here for Hull. Tony Smith runs it, stabs the ball in goal. Jackson, ooh, he just missed it then. The boot of Stuart Spruce got to it first.
Fullback read it well. Neat little tap through by Tony Smith, just in time. Good combination. Spruce knows that the hooker was buzzing around. Experience on both sides, and he knows he's in with a pretty strong game tonight.
Drop out to the halfway line. Back come Hull again in the shape of Craven once more.
Well, I suppose the one thing that Bradford will be looking for, especially their coach Brian Noble, is that Hull in this first half do have the advantage of a pretty strong wind, but it is blustery at times.
Jackson, Dion Bird, it went backwards, play on. And the tackle completed by Robbie Paul in the end. Grimaldi, Craven once more, he's seen plenty of it in the opening half hour, has Steve Craven. Jackson now, Tony Smith, Jason Smith, there's the link for Hull. Beautiful ball, oh what a shame. Matt Crowther nearly, so close.
Unbelievable, he just, well, he should have had, well he had it. Oh, he had the glass bars, he was just wrapping it up and putting a bow on it. And it's now all in pieces. That could have been the match killer.
Paul Broadbent is taking a breather, he's moved to the sideline. Sean McRae makes another change as Robbie Paul carries it on for the Bradford Bulls. They're 20 metres away from their own line though. Luke Felsh is the man all over him with the tackle. Here is Brian McDermott taking on Jackson. Jackson, Felsh and Craven inevitably with that tackle on McDermott. Here is Lee Gilmore, he's coming off the line looking for work, he's escaped the clutches, he's got some pace, he's around Prescott. Prescott just got a very important ankle tap on him.
Oh, big hit there from Jason Smith over the top, dislodged the ball. But a wonderful run from Lee Gilmore.
Who is flat out.
Just as it hit the ground, Jason Smith came across in the cover tackle. He was wobbling all over the shop. Bang, straight over. Was that a swinging arm as well? We'll see on this angle on the replay. Prescott couldn't get anywhere near him.
Well, he just got an important ankle tap, didn't he?
Well, it looked like Rayner came across and Smith right over the top. Bang! Didn't miss him.
Lee Gilmore was away then, and just a quick flick of the ankle of Gilmore by Prescott, and it just stopped his stride. Just delayed him long enough.
He was going down on the angle, and little doubt that there was a swinging arm from the loose forward. He's expecting it as well, and he didn't miss, did he? I thought there was a swinging arm.
He was going down, Gilmore, to be fair to Smith.
And Smith made sure, didn't he? And you could see that Gilmore hit his head on the ground. But good cover defence, good work from Gareth Rayner. He came back.
Hang on, fellas, we're going to get a sub on. Boxed off, we'll get a replacement on for him. Just put back on the 10 balls. Jim, put back on the other side. Get a replacement.
Stretches on, and Lee Gilmore is heading to the sideline. He's obviously a little bit dazed and groggy. There's going to be a change here by Brian Noble.
He probably did more harm when the head hit the ground.
Paul Deacon's the man who's coming on to replace Lee Gilmore.
It was a wonderful effort though, wasn't it? Great break from the winger Lee Gilmore.
Dion Bird is off, by the way, I think, for Hull.
Ready, Tony, let's go. Time on.
Deacon on for Gilmore. 8 minutes then to half-time, all square at the Boulevard still, 8 points all. It's a much different first half than we saw last night, Steve, when it was helter-skelter from start to finish. This is a real wrestle.
Yeah, there's been some good hits out there.
Jamie, stand up.
And I'm sure there's still more to come.
Here's Luke Felsh now for Hull. There's a big hit by Mike Forshaw.
Was it ever?
Craven again at the middle. Does well to flick the pass to Tony Smith. He then gets it away, and Deacon had to be pretty sound in the tackle on Paul Cook, and was.
40-20.
Kick downfield is by Jason Smith. Henry Paul collects it. Grimaldi following up.
Good kick and chase. Wonderful action there by the skipper. He does lead by example, doesn't he? Tony Grimaldi. 100% every time we see him.
Here's Shane Rigon.
Well, they've chuffed it out of Bradford. They haven't had many opportunities, and you can see the reason why. Hull are really getting off the blocks quick.
All the way, fellas. No penalties now. Gareth, come on.
Lowe's to Deacon. Deacon up the middle, and it was a good job that Jackson got the shirt tails there. And Steve Craven in the tackling as well. He's having a big game tonight. This is his first start of the season. He's not missed. He's been off the bench all the way through. This tonight is his first start. First run-on performance for Hull. Boy, he's giving Sean McRae a little nudge. Here's Matt Crowther.
That was a poor kick, though, by James Lowe. Straight down the winger's throat.
Luke Felch for Hull, met by Gartner and Anderson. Jackson. Craven again. Involved in absolutely everything, the prop forward, Steve Craven.
Well, he's asking a lot of questions of this Bradford defence. And you can see there that there's quite a few of the Bradford defenders, they're hanging back.
Smith with the kick over the top. Someone taken out in back play. The referee, it was Tony Smith, I think, who hit the deck from Jason Smith's kick.
Oh, I think there's a bit of a...
And Robbie Paul holds his arms up and says, "Not me, sir." Here's Gartner.
And was it an Oscar performance? And that man there again, Tony Grimaldi, that's his 16th tackle so far in this game alone.
Rigon, tackled by Campbell, but still manages to get the ball offloaded to Deacon. Here's McDermott, now Henry Paul. He spurned Robbie, but he gave it instead to Peacock. Peacock straightens them up. Very important tackle again from Craven. Lowe's, Robbie Paul. Penalty against Hull, they're offside.
Much better from the Bulls.
They're going to go for two again.
Little doubt, James Lowe picked it up and said, "Hey, we're going for it."
Well, James Lowe's the spokesman, Robbie Paul the captain.
And this is a kick over, and you can see there, Henry Paul just took him out. He's certainly moved.
3 times I've told him, he just stands in front of me.
The touch judge not helping the official.
And Henry doesn't waste any time at all. He's kicked the penalty goal. It's 10-8 to the Bradford Bulls here at the Boulevard.
Well, they'll be happy with a 2-point lead. Going in at Lemons and being able to assess the situation. Hull really have applied so much pressure, and you've got to point to some great scrambling defence by Bradford.
Lee Gilmore looked as though he went off a little bit groggily. Let's get some news on his condition. Here's Bill.
Well, glad to say that Lee Gilmore's a lot better. 2 doses of the sniffing salt seem to have perked him up no end, and he's in pretty good spirits, judging by the reception I got when I went to ask how he was. He's, I think, ready to come back as well. Just really got a sore side of the head, as you see there, from that tackle by Jason Smith, but he should be okay.
Anderson's away. That was forward, was it, to Deacon? No, the referee says play on. Price is trying to get up there in support. Deacon is grounded by Jackson eventually. Scrambling defence by Hull. And a couple of questionable passes then from Bradford in the build-up to this. Here's Henry. That's another.
Grabbed at the shirt. It's okay. Richard Holm going high.
Peacock plays the ball. Robbie, Peacock, Scott Naylor. Bradford turning the screw, looking to get more points on the board to half-time. Forward this time, he's got them. There was about 3, I think. It looked 3 from up here, and in the end, Stuart Cummings decided that that was definitely forward.
No doubt in the official's mind. Good position there by Stuart Cummings on the blind side.
I'm not having you pointing his shoulder at the touch.
Took a step there. And he just used the slide rule, didn't he, Cummings?
Well, it's now a penalty to Hull because somebody has been pointing and shouting at the touch judge. And so instead of it being a scrum for a forward pass, it's a penalty to Hull for back-chatting to the official. And Stuart Cummings called Henry Paul to him and said, "I'm not having you pointing and wagging your finger at my touch judge. It's a penalty to Hull." Their third.
Come on, Bulls.
Well, we saw on Easter Monday that Bradford can be rattled at somewhat, and they do have a tendency to talk to the officials rather than just get on with the job on hand, and that's playing rugby league football. They can't boss the officials. It won't help.
Jackson to Jason Smith. This is Luke Felch now. He takes the tumble. Jason Smith again. Great ball to Logan Campbell. A dab towards the in-goal area. And it's going to run dead. Henry Paul content to allow that to go.
He'll be disappointed with the kick there, Logan Campbell. What a great pass.
Gartner, on it goes to Price, who is quick. Has he got the pace to beat Prescott out wide? He got the ball back inside, but it went to a Hull player. It was a wonderful tackle by Steve Prescott. Leon Price had pinned his ears back and was on his way to 4 points.
Well, I can't believe that he tried to offload in an impossible situation. It was a beautiful cover tackle.
Well, he was on his way to the touchline.
Prescott did it right.
Play the ball.
Well, the scrambling defence on show from both sides has been excellent. Has to be as well. But just over the last 10 minutes or so, you get the feeling that the Bulls are starting to prize open this whole defence.
Well, Jackson might do it. Oh, what a pass! Oh.
Forward a mile, and there's no momentum rule involved in that. And I think even Crowther has a smile on his face. Jackson says, what?
Here we go. Scrum.
Yeah.
Oh, tell you what.
Well, I'll tell you what, he was in front of him. That's what I'll tell you what. You can argue with me now,
No,
are you?
I've not said a word, have I?
You said you'd tell me what? You shut up. I'm waiting. Tell me what? What are you telling me?
Could have been forward. Henry Paul. Henry Paul, pass inside, was flicked down by Paul Cook.
Let's play on.
And this is Rayner. What a great game this is developing into. What
Sure
a
is.
corker.
Now the gaps are appearing. All the pressure is paying the price. That's not the best pass from Jackson either.
That's two.
He lost about 15 metres. It made no difference.
It didn't in the end, but Richard Fletcher, it wasn't the best pass. It went between about 3 and Fletcher dropped on it. Well, Jackson has come on for the last 10 minutes, quarter of an hour of this match, but still Bradford turned round with a 10 points to 8 advantage. It's a try apiece, and we're down to the goal kicking then of Crowther and Henry Paul. It's a try for Grimaldi, 2 kicks from Crowther, try from Gartner, and 3 kicks from Henry Paul. That's why the Bulls are ahead by 10 points to 8 at half-time. But the Bulls visited the Boulevard twice last year, and they failed to win on each occasion. At the moment, their noses, their horns, are just in front.
This summer, we're taking you to the hottest sports action on the planet. The Lions head for hostile shores to take on world champions Australia.
History has been made.
The Tri-Nations and England's tour of the United States and Canada. England's cricketers sweated out with Australia and Pakistan. Speedway's ultimate accolade, the World Cup. It's the big one, the Ryder Cup, Europe and the USA in golf's most prestigious tournament. We'll take you through Europe with the world's top athletes in the IAAF Golden League. It's down to business in Copa America. And the Republic of Ireland's World Cup qualifier against Portugal.
Bending it in! What a goal!
The greatest sports, the world's best coverage. Summer on Sky Sports.
The new Volvo S60, it's not just a new shape, it's a whole new world.
If it needs painting, we've got the paint and at low B&Q prices.
Last year, 5 litres of Crown White Emulsion was $8.78. This year, it's only $6.98.
2.5 litres of B&Q colours was $8.98. Now it's only $7.98. We're driving down the cost of DIY to bring you low prices permanently.
The inventor who cleaned up. The comedian who's laughing all the way to the bank. Kenny Scott, fast buck. High flyer, easy money. This Sunday, we out the incredibly rich, the definitive rich list, only in the Sunday Times.
The 2001 census will give a picture of Britain that helps plan all our futures. Complete the form and complete the picture.
We both see the advantages of doing business together on the web. The question is...
infrastructure.
Can we combine both our company's systems?
Quickly.
One moment, please. Allora?
Abbiamo 6 server tutti diversi. Sistemi operativi diversi. Unix, Windows NT. Collegare questi due. Qui, no!
And that's when it hits you. You're ready for IBM.
For Special Agent Andrew Osnard, Panama was a land of opportunity. But what a spy really needs is a spy of his own.
I'm just a tailor.
Pierce Brosnan, Academy Award winner Jeffrey Rush, and Jamie Lee Curtis.
It's a game. Let's have some fun.
From John le Carré's bestseller, The Tailor of Panama.
Hello, can I help? Okay. Tyres? Did you have anything specific in mind, sir?
Give it a treat. 9 litres of waterproofing Duxpack is only a B&Q and only $10.98. We've got low prices permanently.
The diner. Hello, guys. Can I get you a drink? Can I get a pint and Archers for the lady?
Not for me, I'm going to shoot up.
Well, I'm going to hang out for the lads.
Yeah?
I won't be late.
All right, then. See you later.
Yeah, love you. I am in so much trouble.
Come out to play with Archers.
There's more live World Championship boxing coming up for you next Saturday night. Joe Calzaghe defends his WBO World Super Middleweight title against Mario Fight. That's next Saturday night from 8:30, live only on Sky Sports. Here now at the Boulevard, the Bradford Bulls are just in front against Hull. They lead by 10 points to 8. Here's the statistics from the first half, and both teams working hard in the tackling department. And not too many errors, to be fair. It's a totally different kettle of fish to what we saw at Wilderspool last night, isn't it? It's a real arm wrestle between two heavyweights of the game here. And Sean McRae is hoping that his team, who finished 7th last year, have reshaped so much. No club has been more remodelled, both on or off the field, and he hopes that this will be the year they make it to the top 5. Brian Noble is one of the people, I think, who believes that Hull are a very good bet for the top 5, and he knows, even though he's 7 days away now from the Challenge Cup final at Twickenham, that this is a very, very important match for his Bradford Bulls, and so it is. And it just shows you how close this match is, that there's only 2 points between the teams at half-time. Well, here at the Boulevard, it's a pretty chilly day, but I don't think it's as cold as this. You're all rugged up, old boy. You fit in the cold?
I'm freezing. I mean, I know you live in Cheshire, and it's a bit warmer over there, but it is very cold up here.
Yeah,
anyone who's been at the Boulevard will agree with me.
It's the Gulf Stream where I come from, but let's talk about the match now, shall we? And it's a pretty good contest, this, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we knew it would be. We thought perhaps that Bradford would have their minds on the Challenge Cup next weekend. Well, they certainly did in the opening 10-15 minutes. It took them a while to get going, but full credit, though, Hull took their advantage and really should have started with a wonderful try, but the video referee definitely got this one right. A couple of inches short. Craven, who's had a wonderful first half, he's worked overtime. Now, this is a dubious decision. I think the video referee's got this wrong. There's Cook holding on to Gartner. Now, when he hands it there, now Cook still has hold of the boot. Still have hold of the boot and still has hold of the boot. And yet, the video referee allowed Gartner, said that he could go forward, but he was not held and went in. Quick thinking, though, by Gartner. And it was against the run of play. Disappointment for Hull, but it wasn't going to be long before they went back into the scoring seam of things. And this is a problem that Brian Noble, we see it was a beautiful pass there, and Grimaldi goes through. But again, we see the problems that Stuart Spruce has. Good effort from Grimaldi, but Stuart Spruce, man on man, is not the best tackler in the world. Now, this could really have sealed it up. Jason Smith, Crowther has it, loses it. Well, what more can you do but tie a ribbon and put a bow on it for there? That was the great opportunity for it. I think that Brian Noble will be quite happy with the half-time scoreline, especially with the fact that it was Hull that had most of the possession in that first half. And amazingly, though, they had the advantage of the wind in that first half, and it seems now to have changed around.
It does, and we've seen this first 40 minutes, two sides who obviously have only lost once in Super League, and they've shown the quality as to why they've only lost once in Super League. Let's go down to the touchline and join Phil Clark. Phil, it's a match of high quality, this, isn't it? And it would be difficult for you, I think, at this point to choose the winner.
Yeah, I think Hull have been a little bit unlucky. Matt Craven's missed opportunity, and Steve Craven as well, really going short, close to the line. Referee decision also going in Bradford's favour, so they'll feel a little bit unlucky, yet they're still in the game. And as you've just pointed out, Steve-O, the wind has turned around completely, and they're very strong behind Hull in this second half.
Phil, there looks to be a problem in the Bradford pack as far as I'm concerned. Normally we classify them as the dreadnoughts, but not today.
Yeah, I think Hull have been very successful in preventing Bradford from getting into the usual rhythm of the game. We haven't seen the charges or the offloads from their forwards that have made them so successful in the early part of this year. And I'm sure that Sean McRae will be emphasising speed of the defensive line that Hull have worked on in that first half has really paid off for them.
Thanks, Phil. Well, I wonder if you have spotted a possible man-of-the-match performance tonight from some of the players out there. Phil and Steve-O are the people who are deciding who goes home with that particular piece of jewellery on their arm at the end of tonight's match. And if you can agree with our panel, i.e. Phil and Steve-O, then you could book yourselves a couple of tickets to the grand final on October the 13th. 09009 10 10 13 in the UK. Our Republic of Ireland friends should ring 1550 92 35 56. And if you can agree with Steve-O and Phil, win those tickets for the grand final of the Tetley Super League, Saturday, October the 13th, and get your name in the draw for the box at Old Trafford on the big night. Hull and Bradford certainly have designs on Old Trafford this year. Hull aiming for the top 5 for the first time in Super League, and they've made a pretty good fist of this.
Get those bottoms back. I got it.
There's no shortage of celebrities, is there? Even chefs are superstars. But what about the people who are really changing the world? The inventors. Would we point to an inventor on the street? Would we ask for their autograph? Probably not. But then it's not about being famous. It's about being an inventor.
The 2001 census will give a picture of Britain that helps plan all our futures. Complete the form and complete the picture.
Just one new Ariel liquid tab is all you need for brilliant cleaning. Ariel, that's another load off your mind.
No style hairstyle. Move on. Fibre gum jelly from new Garnier Fructis Style with fruit micro waxes. Get flexibility with fibre gum technology. Get new style, restyle, whatever you want style. Get hold with fibre gum jelly from new Garnier Fructis Style.
Starting tomorrow, the Sunday Telegraph European Cities Travel Guide. Crammed with the latest information about exhibitions, fashionable hotels and bars. It tells you what even the locals don't know about their own city.
Go away.
And you can fly to Europe with BMI British Midland from only £49. The Sunday Telegraph, Sundays to a T.
Business as you've known it is history. We're in a brave new world with more information than you've ever seen. And if you're not part of it, you're part of the past. How do you unlock its potential? With EMC. EMC opens the door to all your information. It's the one place where you can see your information from every place. EMC, where information lives.
My dream is to develop technology that'll change the way that people live
At HP, I'm working on video streaming research that will bring video and audio to people anywhere and on any device.
What do you got?
Brock,
Yes, my sweet.
the baby isn't yours. It's Marco's.
Marco.
We'll get there, just one step at a time.
The Saturday premiere with Siemens mobile phones. Sonny Colfax is trying to relax.
I just want things to go back to the way they used to be.
He's not just losing his girlfriend.
You refuse to move on to the next phase of your life.
I can't lose it.
Now he's gaining a son.
Our son, I adopted.
A comedy about fatherhood.
I wet my bed.
The kid just won't stop peeing and throwing up. He's like a Cocker Spaniel.
Adam Sandler. Big Daddy, tonight at 8 on Sky Premiere.
A great choice of live sport coming up for you later tonight after we've finished here at the Boulevard. On Sky Sports 1, there's live Spanish football, Celta Vigo against Deportivo. There's live US Tour Golf on Sky Sports 2, action from day 3 of the Shell Houston Open. And there's live greyhound racing here on Sky Sports 3 with live Test cricket, the West Indies against South Africa over on Sky Sports Extra. Big night of live sport. Half-time at the Boulevard. Hull 8, Bradford 10, all to play for second half. Game on up here in East Yorkshire. The Bulls, 40 minutes away from maybe the top of the table, but the same could be said of Hull, because if it goes according to plan for them tonight and then over the weekend, they too could be sitting pretty at the top of the Tetley's Super League come the end of this weekend. It is Hull who are in possession, start of this second half. 7th last year. As I say, they've totally reshaped their side. Last major honour for this club, the 1991 Premiership Trophy. 10 years ago, a decade really in which Hull have struggled, but they have fashioned a team this year that will take on and beat many of the best. And perhaps they'll start right here against Bradford. Lovely stepping here. What a terrific run from Cook. Oh,
they've bombed it again.
Logan Campbell just couldn't take the pass in. McDermott will trundle it forward for Bradford, and they have played their get-out-of-jail card, have they?
Well, maybe the pass a touch too hard, but
I think he was looking for Felch, maybe next man out.
Oh,
Campbell got in the way.
They should have taken that. Crowther just before the half-time break, and that one there would have just finished off this Bradford outfit. Hull know that they have blown 2 opportunities within the space of 10 playing minutes.
Anderson, such a difficult man to stop, but they did. Sean McRae won't be terribly happy. He knows that chances could be few and far between, and his team have now put down 2. And Henry Paul beats Gareth Rayner to the touchline on the far side.
Safety first, they're playing the percentages, and that's obviously what Brian Noble would have said to his charges. They made far too many errors in that first half, and they only completed 8 sets of 6 out of a possible 20. Less than 50% will not be acceptable by Brian Noble, the coach. More of an improvement in the second stanza.
Here comes Craven again, and Bradford caught offside.
Well, he's making it quite clear. Stuart Cummings is shouting out to the players, make your 10. They're failing to do that. And the expression on the face of the Bulls captain Robbie Paul said it all.
So Luke Felch, he goes through Robbie Paul. He can't get away from Naylor or from Peacock. Hull are just 40 metres away from the line. Jason Smith onto Craven. I say I've been highly impressed with Craven. I've been highly impressed with Jason Smith, Tony Smith, Paul Cook, Richard Horne. I mean, this is really where Hull's engine ticks away. Tony Smith from dummy half. Scampering run. The ball's hanging back and almost fatally.
Good job that Regon was there. He was off for the little halfback.
Jackson, bullet pass to Grimaldi. Wide it goes, but forward. No try. Another opportunity goes begging. Grimaldi can't believe it. Stuart Cummings was the man on the spot. That's the one he said is forward, and looking at it that angle, Logan Campbell was in front, but let's have a look at it from this angle.
Yeah, just not much in it though, but it was enough to convince the official, and that's all that counts. Well, Hull...
Tight calls tonight though, Steve, by Stuart Cummings.
They could have just wrapped this game up. It would have been all over. Bradford's heads would have gone down. They would have said, right, okay, just like St. Helens yesterday, we'll concentrate more on the matters next weekend.
Well, I wonder what the mood is in the dressing rooms during half-time and how it is looking on the sideline now. Let's join Bill Arthur downstairs.
Well, Hull coach Sean McRae must be absolutely furious with his side because they've had 2 gilt-edged opportunities, which is exactly what he was looking for. But he wants them to back themselves when they get into that area of the field. They're not showing enough commitment, enough conviction, he felt, in that first half, and that's what he was looking for from his side when they get into the red zone, to really finish the job off, to play with more conviction in that particular aspect of their game. Otherwise, very happy with their completion rate and with the way they're going about the business. Bradford Bulls coach Brian Noble wants his side to control the ball. They're playing into a fairly stiff wind now. That's going to be crucial. Keep an eye out for the whole kicking game and just to complete their sets of 6.
Campbell's away for Hull. He's got Rayner in support. Campbell has taken them on his own. He's gone the wrong way. They came on his inside. Rayner was with him. Campbell was with him, and he went the wrong way. Tony Smith, Jason Smith, they're loaded left. He's through one, there's a chance here, and he's in, Richard Fletcher. He's held it up again though, Stuart Cummings.
Have a look at the ball. It seemed to come out on the play the ball. Can you just have a look at the play the ball, please?
He's gone back to the play the ball, and he wants to check that the last play the ball was A-OK. If it is, Richard Fletcher has scored a try.
Well, did he lose it? No, he's lost it. He's lost it, and then he picks it back up again. This will be no try. You can't just lose the ball like that and get away with it. Well, Logan Campbell is going through the nightmare at the moment. Logan Campbell dropped the ball with only seconds after the restart. Logan Campbell was brought back for a forward pass from Grimaldi, and now he's lost the ball. That's going to deny them a try to Fletcher.
Or will Leon Price be deemed to have been interfering, Steve-O, and will they play the advantage?
No, he wasn't going for the football. He brought his arms away, made no attempt.
Well, Stuart Cummings is right there. He must have seen that.
Well, you'd think so, wouldn't you? Well, there it is. Now, you can't tell me that Price is making it. He just wants to get out of the way. This will be no try.
Oh, you've got 2 wrong in the night. Well, how have they given that?
Who is this guy? The video referee.
There's no complaints from him.
Well, that is unbelievable. The ball just stood there and was resting on the chest of Leon Price, and then he just carries on with it. How on earth can you get it?
Well, maybe, as I say, he has deemed that Leon Price was interfering.
Well, he was.
And it was play on.
He was play on, but the ball, he lost possession. Logan Campbell lost it. How on earth is given that try? Well, the advantage obviously being played there. Let's not take anything away. It was Jason Smith's neat little pass, Fletcher try. They've gone so close so many times, they deserve something to go their way. But I still think they were somewhat fortunate.
Well, this is Matt Crowther now with the conversion attempt, and this is a very, very important kick. It's 12-10, and he has pushed it the wrong side of the post. There's not been much between these teams all night. 4 points has been the biggest margin. That was with the Bulls after 16 minutes and Gartner's try. It's a 2-point gap now, courtesy of Richard Fletcher's try. An element of controversy, so some would say, but the video referee and Stuart Cummings allowing Hull the advantage because Leon Price was deemed to have been interfering at the play of the ball.
Well, it's a big call by the video referee. Extremely controversial. Either way, Hull will not complain. They hold the 2-point lead now. Well, he's had everything this restart.
Well, that could be either way or the other there. What's the referee giving?
By Bradford in there, so there's no advantage.
Knock on by Bradford, he says.
No advantage.
Scrum to Hull. Incidentally, Steve-O, in answer to your cry, who is this guy? The video referee tonight is none other than Tony Brown.
Well, he's normally good.
Well, he believes he's good tonight.
By the way, you force it out, and that's what they certainly did.
Well, you've started well this season. You were 100% correct until tonight. Now, what's this decision? Knock on. And Luke Felsh cannot believe the validity of this call here, although he did drop it.
Or did Anderson knock it down?
Hold, fellas. Steve, hold the 5. Steve, 5.
Well, it's like a tale of two pities, this one.
Scott Naylor picked up and dumped to the ground by Grimaldi, who's been magnificent again, the Hull captain. There he is once more with a tackle on Mike Forshaw. Deacon. Henry Paul. Back it goes to Stuart Spruce. Spruce away from a couple that couldn't get away from Richard Horne. Henry Paul. Deacon. Wide to Robbie. Robbie further wide to Rigon. Rigon is through. Support arrived from Robbie Paul again. And the scrambling Hull defence keeps him out 2 metres away from the line. Leon Price going for broke on his own, and he's held up and pushed back by all those black and whites. Last tackle here now for the Bulls. It's with Deacon. Deacon slides the kick in. Naylor's after this. Prescott hacks the ball there.
Beautiful weighted kick there. Excellent build-up. Deacon. Sensational little chip through. Well covered, though, by Steve Prescott. Had it under control. Naylor was steaming down on him.
What a great match this is. Hull against Bradford, and what a match we have got in a few weeks' time when Hull are at home to Wigan, and it just could be that we will see the top two being involved in that match. It's on the 19th of May, it's on Sky Sports 3, it's here at the Boulevard again, and Hull taking on Wigan will be one of the occasions of the year here at the Boulevard if matches between then and now go according to plan. That look forward from Henry to Brian McDermott.
Who delayed it, that's a sure. Well, Henry Paul, perhaps the...
Great ball from Deacon Anderson, but a great tackle low down by the try scorer, Richard Fletcher.
Well, I feel Henry Paul is the only player on the Bradford side capable of breaking through this solid defence.
Peacock stands and has to take the tackle. They're inching closer. Lowe's fancies it. Anderson with the strength. Hauled back, flung away though. Lowe's to Robbie. This is Forshaw. Try for Bradford. He'll give this. No need to refer that one to the video ref. Mike Forshaw with the try. The leader swung back the Bulls' way.
Wonderful play. The combination between the big fella Anderson and the hooker James Lowe's to keep this ball alive. You talk about second effort. It looked all dead and buried, didn't it? No, Anderson got it away, back on the inside. That's a superb try. Wonderful stuff from the big fella. Zip, straight out. Lowe said, let's get out of here. Robbie Paul back on the inside. And the loose forward, Mike Forshaw, puts the Bulls in control yet again.
The lead has just changed hands here tonight for the 5th time. And Henry Paul to try and add 2 more points. This for 16-12 and to equal the biggest margin between the two sides all night. 16-12 it is. Oh, Mike Forshaw. Discarded at Central Park, Wigan in the mid-90s. It was a sweet win against Wigan last Monday. And this is his 10th appearance of the year at loose forward. And he has settled in brilliantly to this role. They were unexpectedly looking for a loose forward at the start of the year when Brad Mackay announced his retirement. But Mike Forshaw has filled the bill perfectly.
Should have settled into the loose forward exceptionally well. But that really was outstanding. A lot of people think that the big fella, Paul Anderson, all he's capable of is just being utilised as a battering ram. But that was real skill with the offload.
Deacon with the natty headgear again tonight, and took the tackle, and from the dummy half it's a run from Henry Paul. Lowe's, Bradford up to the pace of this now. Anderson ran right over the top of Craven then, but he did well, did Craven, to hang on to him. Lowe's to Deacon, dabs the little kick in behind Rayner, but the Hull wing did well to pick it up on the fly.
Neat angle kick into the corner. That Rayner was just a little bit slow getting into the action. It'll be difficult now for Hull to get out of their own quarter.
Well, as I say, the lead has just changed hands for the 5th time. Phil Clark is on the sideline. Phil, it's one of those nights, isn't it? This could go either way.
Oh, there'll be plenty more opportunities yet for both sides. I just feel that Bradford's enthusiasm has lifted in the last 5 or 6 minutes, not only from that resulting points, as we see a good kick deep here now. I think Price is going to get it before it goes out of play. I think Paul Deacon's had a big impact too, really, since he's come on. Very, very enthusiastic, both attack and defence, and that's lifted the Bradford side. Hull certainly aren't going to let them get on a roll, get into the usual rhythm and momentum. Henry Paul, as you say, well, he's been one of the best for the Bulls tonight.
Play on, says the referee. It was a scrappy play, the ball, and then it's been dropped, and I think Rigon's in a lot of trouble.
Oh, it was a big hit. Logan Campbell got the shoulder into him. Buff didn't miss him. He's always going to lose that football. He's in a lot of trouble.
It was a big hit, but he immediately went to the leg and held the leg, and he's in agony as Rigon. We saw maybe a crucial moment in the Warrington-St Helens game last night. Is this a crucial moment in this one? Grimaldi! He should have passed to Rayner.
He couldn't, and it's a knock-on. Offside. Well, Grimaldi lost it, and sure that Rayner touched it, and then Grimaldi finished up with it.
Here is Jason Smith. Fletcher, big collision really with Prescott, who has the football. Jason Smith again. Not the best pass. Grimaldi, though, there's a big hole for him. Try, no, forward again. Forward pass again. Logan Campbell's furious, and so are the supporters here of Hull.
Well, Logan Campbell, he must have kicked about 8 cats on his way here to the ground. Well, there's big problems for Rigon in the background, but well, Campbell has been involved in everything. I've seen worse. That looked 50-50.
Let's go, fellas.
Well, it's the referee in the middle, Stuart Cummings, who counts. He blew, and it's the scrum, and in the background, off the field, goes Shane Rigon. I mentioned maybe a turning point, bearing in mind the Challenge Cup final next week. Last night, when Paul Newlove was sent off, maybe this is an even bigger blow to the Bradford Bulls, because Rigon looks in all sorts of strife. Let's get the news from Bill on the side.
There's a lot of concern about Shane Rigon. It's the right knee that they're tending to at the moment, which he twisted when he went in for the tackle. And Rigon, who has been a great signing for the Bradford Bulls this season, an instant hit with the supporters, especially on the back of a hat-trick against St Helens, is looking in a great deal of pain. Now, this could be a big worry for the Bulls.
Yes, they are just ahead in the match by 4 points. The kick downfield from Henry Paul. Referee called for a possible 40-20, but it didn't spin towards the sideline. Crowther will have to run it out. Henry and Robbie Paul there to greet him.
Great chase. Leading the way, Henry Paul. He's working overtime. Henry Paul realises how important these 2 points are.
Well, they're vital. No side wants to finish below third of the table come the end of the weekly rounds. And Hull, they are in what people are calling the easier half of the draw, having finished in the bottom half of the table last year. But hey, there are no easy matches in Super League this year, as Wakefield proved last week against the Bulls, and as Warrington proved last night against the Saints.
Yeah, but Brian Noble, the Bradford coach, he fully realises that those last 6 games, those extra games that they will play, will have a big bearing, especially on the top 3.
Well, he went through the last 10 fixtures that Bradford have got with me on the phone yesterday, and it is a huge ask. I think they play Leeds about 3 times, they play Wigan twice. This is all in the last 10 weeks of the season. a tangle with all the top 5 of last year, and boy, if they're going to make it to the top 3, the Bulls are going to have to do it the hard way.
That's why they need the points early in the season.
Exactly. That's why they're not easing off the gas here. And it's Henry Paul. Still Henry Paul, but wrapped up by Prescott on the last tackle. 10 metres away. Oh,
it's got to be a penalty right in front. They'll take the 2 points. Prescott appeals to the official. It's waved away by Stuart Cummings. Everything will calm down, and right in front.
Well, he wanted to get on with it quickly, didn't he?
He certainly pushed him. You have to clear the ruck after you've completed, and he fails to do that. He piggybacks, and he actually trambles on the ball. Well, he could have been penalised for 2 or 3 infringements there.
Well, he was trying to get in front of the man to play the ball, there's no doubt about that, but he took the wrong route, didn't he?
You don't go over the man playing the football.
He took completely the wrong route.
The official had no option but to give that.
It's bang in front.
This will be gleefully accepted by Henry Paul. I must say, the 2 standoffs tonight have been outstanding. Henry Paul, of course, and the youngster Paul Cook.
Henry kicks the goal, almost inevitable, and it's 18-12, and that's the biggest margin of daylight between the 2 sides. But Ryan Noble very concerned about the 2 points here, with Bernard Dwyer alongside him, and I think even more concerned about Shane Rigon on the sideline.
And let's not forget the problem with Lee Gilmore, though, that they do feel that he does not have concussion. We could still utilise him for the end of the game.
Paul Cook restarts. Brian McDermott to run the ball back at the onrushing Hull attackers.
Here we go.
McDermott wants to get on with it. Lowe's to Wangenaar.
Well, there's still plenty of time out there, so it's not a case of the Bulls just closing shop.
Look at Big Joe. What a difficult man to put down.
And it's a quick play of the ball. Well, that's what he needs.
Lowe's to Peacock. Right on the halfway line, Peacock takes the tackle of Jason Smith and of Richard Horne. Lowe's little dummy. Horne gets to him. Ball's flicked back inside to Peacock. Play on.
Just seen a different style of the Bulls' approach now in the forwards. They're trying to spin in the tackle and support the ball carrier.
Robbie Paul. Typical scampering run of his. Last tackle, though, here.
Will it be a nice chip over from Henry Paul?
Well, there is Henry. No, it's wide to Deakin and dabbed through by Deakin. Invitation to Price to chase. He's under all sorts of pressure, is Rayner. And he managed to stay the right side of the try line. That's terrific defending from Gareth Rayner.
Unbelievable that, but look at the swarming defence now from Bradford.
Prescott.
Oh, very high. Could have been penalised, that nailer, right into the face of Prescott. Prescott didn't like it either. Oh, that's another high one from McDermott. It's getting tasty.
Crowther on his back, struggling to get to his feet. Jackson. Here's Logan Campbell. And a couple of chances.
There's a high tackle there. And they're lucky not to be penalised.
Lovely chip over the top by Smith. And Forshaw read the script. Well, we've had an hour of this match, and it's still anyone's game. Bradford just ahead 18-12, and man of the match, well, your telephone number's there on the screen. You don't need me to read them anymore. I'm sure you know them off by heart. And it's 2 tickets to the grand final up for grabs if you can agree with the choice of Steve-O here and Phil. Wangenaar again.
Made a big impact. They're looking tired of Hull at the moment.
Deacon, wide to Gartner. Good defence. Lowe's waits at dummy half. Finds Deacon. Deacon drop goal. Charged down by Grimoni. Back to 0 on the tackle count.
It popped up nicely for Lowe's. Sure will drive for the sticks. Maybe take the option of the 1 point.
Robbie takes over again from Peacock. They are 7 metres away now. The Bradford Bulls looking for the try that could kill off the Hull resistance. It's with McDermott. McDermott takes it up on his own. Another couple of metres, releases it brilliantly. Lowe's back to Robbie Paul. McDermott released that in an impossible situation. Lowe's, Deacon, wide to Henry Paul. On the charge is Radford.
What a great tackle there.
What a tackle, Jackson.
Jackson's tackle, unbelievable.
Such pressure, Henry Paul. Peacock. Another great tackle, Jason Smith.
Will Lowe's go on his own?
This is like Custer's last stand. Lowe's did go on his own, he's held on. Turnover, and Sean McRae should be proud of the defence on show then.
Hasn't done many near the try line, hasn't Jimmy Lowe's tonight. But that again was great scrambling defence by Hull. It's been a highlight from both sides. There's been breaks all over the field of play, but they've managed to get back.
Matt Crowther is down injured now. It's been a rough and tumble affair as this. Logan Campbell now.
Well, still plenty of time for Hull. There's a problem with Crowther.
The big fellow is Gareth Carvell. Bradford have got it back. Gartner has it for the Bulls. McDermott, on it goes to Robbie Paul. He misses him this time, does Jason Smith, but two more are waiting. It's relentless, this pressure from Bradford. Peacock keeps going to the 10-metre line. And look at how much possession Bradford have had in this second half. There's more to come here with Deacon. Wide it goes to Gartner. He slipped the net. Gartner slipped the net, and Gartner gets the try. Second try of the night for Daniel Gartner. Referee is surrounded by Hull players. Now he gives the try. Daniel Gartner, he missed out on the Cup semi-final. He's a third generation of rugby league stars from his family. And boy, what a try, a crucial try this is.
What a beautiful pass there from Deacon. Left in open space. Relentless attack. Remember, this is the second occasion that sets of 6. Oh, that was beautiful play. Such a valuable player, Gartner, but even the fact that Brian Noble, the Bradford Bulls coach, they can bring off the bench the likes of Paul Deacon. And he'll be happy with that. That was a superb long ball, about 30 metres pass from the little halfback, Paul Deacon. Gartner, and it looks pretty tough going now for Sean McRae and the boys.
Henry Paul, it flicks in off the post. It's 24-12 now to the Bradford Bulls. And this relentless pressure from Bradford is starting to take its toll on Hull.
Well, it was all Hull in the first half, wasn't it? Look at that superb pass. Just stretched the sliding defence out. Logan Campbell couldn't get to him. There's nothing better than to sneak over for crucial tries, Daniel Gartner.
Well, 2 tries from him tonight, but the crucial element of this match for Bradford Bulls, the 6 successful kicks from Henry Paul. 65 minutes coming up on the watch. Let's get news of the injured from Bill on the side.
Well, it's good news for Bradford Bulls fans, in addition to the fact that Lee Gilmore and Stuart Fielden don't seem to be suffering any after effects from the knocks they took in the first half. Shane Riggin has recovered from what looked like quite a bad knee injury to be back on his feet. He's had a bit of ice on it. He's back on his feet. He's just been jogging up and down the touchline and was suggesting to Carl Harrison, the Bulls assistant coach, that he might even be fit to go back on. Carl Harrison took one look at him and said, "Sit down, you're not going back out there. We've got a cup final next Saturday, man."
And they've now got a 12-point lead here, and maybe that's why they can enjoy the luxury of keeping Rigon and Gilmore and company off the field while they're carrying knocks. Henry Paul, that's a measured kick. It's a real test, but he came up with the goods, did Gareth Rayner.
Not the tallest winger in the world, but it was going to be his all the way. That's the big poser now for Brian Noble, is does he bring off and rest some of his players out there? Still plenty of time to go, but he must feel confident with a 12-point lead that those 2 points are wrapped up.
Well, 12-point lead, 14 minutes to go, maybe a bit early yet. Talking of the Challenge Cup final, a special edition of Rugby League World this Wednesday at 8:30. We look ahead to the Twickenham event, and I believe that Phil and Steve-O and I are down in the studio this weekend, so join us for that 8:30 on Sky Sports 3.
Beauty and the Beast, eh?
Fletcher gets to his feet. Jason Smith will attack down the short side.
Oh, dearie me.
What a shame.
That was good work. Jason Smith, thinking all the time, he's a class rugby league player.
And Richard Horne, his pass was just behind the man.
It's been a titanic struggle. Horne against Scott Naylor and Shane Rigon before he left the field, of course.
Steve Henry Paul in possession there, playing the ball. Much been made, of course, of Kieran Cunningham's future. Oh, here's Vangana now. I'll come back to that in a moment. Vangana got off one knee and gave it to Robbie Paul, and Carvel scrambled into the ground. Much made of Cunningham's possible future moves, and Henry Paul has said that he will make an announcement about his decision, his future, after the cup final at the weekend. Let's hope he doesn't go anywhere else. He's a rare talent. That's a forward pass from Naylor, though, to Mo.
Yeah, it poses the question, doesn't it, that, you know, how important is a contract? Is it just a piece of paper that, you know, you can either rip up, burn up, or do whatever you want?
Well, I think in fairness to Henry, he's up at the end of this year, his contract.
Yeah, but look, let's talk about it when the contract's finished.
Well, it's all right if he says he's staying with the Bulls after Saturday. Anyway, that's all for future. This is the present, and at the moment it's 2 points for Bradford that could be taking them to the top of the table, but Hull haven't given this up yet.
Well, all I can say is I hope that the poachers stick to the partridges.
In the pear trees.
And the pheasants. Oh,
Jackson.
what has he done? He's come up with a real blunder there, Jackson.
Oh, so has Price.
Will he play the first knock on?
Right, time off. Okay. From the free kick.
Now what happens here?
He's kicked the ball, but he's never regained it again, so we're playing on. Right, the Bradford players then got the ball and lost it. And the Hull player could well have just picked up the score. I don't think there's a knock on there. He's missed it completely.
Well, has he missed it?
But if he has, this is a try.
Yeah.
Well, how many
Which
balls
ball?
have they got on the pitch?
Which ball has we scored with?
The correct one. Grimaldi thinks he's got a try here.
Well, I've no confidence in the video referee, so I'll go for the try.
Well, it's got to be a try. Having seen those pictures, and it is. Second try for Grimaldi. Well, there were two balls on the field. It was a right mess of the free kick by Lee Jackson, and somehow they've come up with the 4 points of Hull.
He was fortunate not to get to it. Fortunate that no one got injured either. Two balls on the pitch. It was an awful effort from Jackson. Got away with it in the end.
Grimaldi, a try here against Salford and Halifax. Two now here tonight. He loves playing in the Boulevard. And, well, it's back in the melting pot once again. Crowther, if he adds this, Hull are just a converted try away. Super League's joint leading point scorer coming into this weekend here, and that's the reason why. It's not up yet. Hull are back. They're within 6 points of the Bradford Bulls. It's 24-18. We're in for a big finish. Fasten the seatbelts. Hold on to your hats. We've got 10.5 minutes to go, and it's going to be frantic stuff.
Well, he deserved that try. He's worked hard, as he always does, the Hull skipper. But what a sweet action from Crowther, the kicker. And there's just a glimmer of a hope, perhaps.
Worth recalling, when they played here 12 months ago, just after the Murrayfield Cup final, it was 8 points all. When they played in round 28, Hull won here 28-12. So anything could happen in the next 10, and Hull know it too. What a big hit by Vangana, but didn't he do well to get up Paul King and get the pass away? Carvel now is wrestled to the ground by Stuart Fielden.
Well, Bradford, we wanted to get possession back, try to drive towards the sticks. They'll be going for the 1 pointer, that's for sure. But that's a great kick. How good is the chase?
Well, Leon Price could bring the ball back. He went for the 40-20 then, did Jason Smith. This is almost as good. because they're hunting the mistake in Bradford's territory. Henry Paul.
That's 2. Make the 10.
He's had a big game as Henry.
Robbie Paul scampering away. Oh, Jackson took a big bang then from his own player, and he's clutching his arm.
Paul King went right in with a body, and he's made impact more with Jackson rather than Robbie Paul, and he's still down, is Jackson.
So Hull are defending this attack, although it's the last tackle with a man short, and there he is, Jackson, just getting his way back in, and Gareth Rayner was not interested in that kick forward.
This is going to be okay, you can see it here, yeah, it's a hip from King that went through, and well, there's a tough hombre, is Jackson. He'll shove his head into the scrum. They've got to push these days.
Okay, last 10 minutes of the match. Phil Clark, who's going to win it?
Well, I put my money on Hull. They came back against St Helens, but didn't quite get enough points to get the win. I think the chances they've had tonight, they'll get one more, and then, well, we're looking at a field goal. I'm predicting a bit ahead of myself, I suppose, and I'm trying a goal, and then the field goal to come from somebody like Jason Smith.
Well, we all know how good your predictions are, Phil.
Sorry about that. Yeah. We'll just keep that between you and I.
We shall wait and see. It's 8 minutes to go. This is Jason Smith. Now then, it's Grimaldi, who's been outstanding. Good hands. And here they come again. The black and whites. King, good and important. Tap by
he did well there, McDermott.
Didn't he do well?
Knocked it down, created any more possession, and made sure that he got back there.
And he's hurt as well, but it was a brave effort from McDermott.
He's in a lot of trouble.
Wow, these Bradford players will know they've been in a match. It's a good job they've got 7 days to recover before the next big one.
And another big poser. How many of these players will be going in, perhaps not 100% fit? It's been a tough encounter out there.
Certainly has, and Naylor hits the deck. Now then, Robbie Paul. Deacon takes over. This now is Fielden. That's the last. Great defence again from Hull. Lowe's, and they pointed him towards the post to go for the one-pointer. It was never close enough. I think he almost stubbed his toe on the ground as he went for that.
Well, I can't believe that. What's the point of shouting to him, pointing to the sticks? Why didn't he say, pass it to me? I've got a better chance, better position.
This is Matt Crowther. Anderson's come on to add his considerable weight to the final 6.5 minutes of proceedings here. Crowther again, good hands, Tony Smith. Just in front, the pass to Grimaldi, but he hung on. It came from Paul Cook.
Well, it's catch a football now from this whole side.
They've got to throw caution to the wind. It's with Logan Campbell.
Just keep it alive. Bradford will have to make sure that their composure is good. Don't give away a silly penalty.
Tony Smith. Jason Smith. Carvel through the gap. They're flooding forward. Tony Smith. Oh, what a tackle from Peacock. This is the last.
Problems for Spruce. He's down injured.
Here's Matt Crowther. On it goes, and that's Fletcher. Back it comes to Cook. They're keeping the movement going. Carvel again. Great scrambling defence from the Bulls this time. But Spruce is now the latest casualty.
Cover defence again. Well, that really has been a highlight. He's off. He's worked hard, this fella. Henry Paul, not just only in attack, but he's marshalled the troops. He's done his share of defence.
And Naylor. Lowe's now.
They're sore and sorry, this Bradford outfit.
Well, they're not sorry yet. They're 6 points ahead. Bangener takes the tumble 40 metres away from his own line. Lowe's, Fielden. Fielden to the halfway line. Fielden didn't like it. Jason Smith is in front of him. Anderson.
It's field position now, but it's a long way out. They'll go for the touch instead.
Lowe's is running it. Oh, he's hammered that out on the full. Well, now then.
Hanging pretty loose, isn't it?
Spruce has moved out to the wing. Henry Paul's taken over at fullback. So Spruce obviously has a problem. Not the best pass. Gathered in, though, by Paul Cook. On it goes to Prescott. And Bradford's turn now to hunt the mistake. rip-roaring stuff at the boulevard. Carvel. Less than 5 to go.
This has been a toughie.
Could still go either way, this. Here they come. Tony Smith, great tackle, Robbie Paul.
Bit of a hint of a forward, they've got away with it.
Paul Cook, Jackson. Great offload, Cook again.
Well,
wonderful work there by Paul Cook.
He's tried his best as a standoff.
Jason Smith. Cook. Still Cook. Beautiful. What a run. Great tackle. Peacock again. Jackson. Jason Smith. Tony Smith. He scored. Well, he's not looking at that. He's checking the grounding.
Oh, I think that might have been a touch forward as well.
Video referee cannot adjudicate on that. He just wants to check this.
Nothing wrong with it.
It's a try.
TRY, no doubt. Whether the pass was forward or not, it doesn't matter. He can only check on the grounding. And TRY, and we could have a drawn game here. No doubt. But what a build-up, what a run from the youngster Paul Cook, who's had an outstanding game. Well, in reflection, Eddie, maybe a draw is a good result. No doubt.
Well, they came late to force a draw against Castleford here not long ago. Two coaches watching, and the try is given. We're on the brink of another draw at the boulevard for the Hull side. Tony Smith's try. He'll be ruining the lost and missed opportunities. But Tony Smith was brave then. And the kick now from Crowther will level things. What a difference for this fella compared to last year when he played for Huddersfield, who took the wooden spoon at the bottom of the Super League table again. He has been a revelation this year. Now then, this kick to level matters. He knows how important it is. That's why he's taking his time. Concentration's all. They're holding their breath. No need to anymore. Scores a level at the boulevard, 24 points apiece. An absolutely corking match again.
What an effort. High shot, you'll see. Oh, that was a little bit forward for mine, but there's been so many indifferent decisions, and that is an excellent piece of play.
What a signing this fella's been. 8 tries in 9 games now for Hull.
Well, the two Smiths, the combination, Tony and of course Jason Smith, really has revitalised this Hull side. Now then, there's still time to get downfield.
There is 2 minutes remaining. Lee Jackson, here they come again. A drive forward by Paul King, hauled down by James Lowes.
Field position again so important.
The kick through is by Paul Cook.
It's on the full.
Oh, what a mistake. What a mistake. Could that be the moment that turns this? Because Bradford have a chance here to drive in and get the position for a drop goal after this scrum.
Well, surely Deacon will feed the scrum. Neat pass to Henry Paul, and then they'll just drive the forwards.
There's Henry. Away from 1, away from 2. They're getting ever closer, though, even on the very first tackle. Robbie Paul to drive it in. This is drama, isn't it? We're entering the last minute. Lowes gets them to within 10. Now then, is this the moment when they take the field goal? It's back with Henry Paul. Henry Paul's 1 point has missed it.
They came charging through. They went for an early one-pointer. And the pressure was too much. They did everything right about the final execution.
Now, can Hull get up the other end and give themselves a chance? One thing they mustn't do, they mustn't drop the ball. Logan Campbell with the drive. Picked up and dropped to the ground.
Discipline now by the Bulls, that's what's needed. Caught offside. Any silly play will give Hull the opportunity in the dying seconds to maybe go for 1 point.
Phelps with a brave run rather to halfway. 15 seconds to go. Grimaldi.
They've got to have a go at least. Jackson's lucky. No, he nearly forgot.
Well, he went for it. He went for it. Did Paul King, but it never got close. This is the last tackle of the match. A wonderful game. Bradford Bulls leave the Boulevard with a point that they think maybe should have been 2. They were 24-12 up with 15 minutes to go. Grimaldi and Tony Smith's tries, though, and the smooth kicking of Matt Crowther, bringing us back to a 24 points apiece draw. They have been royally entertained at the Boulevard, and so I'm sure have you at home. 24 points apiece. That's the final score from the Boulevard. Well, Tony Smith's try gave Hull hope right at the death, and here he is with Bill.
Tony, you snatched the draw, but you must feel as though you should have won this one, the chances you had.
Yeah, I mean, we bombed 2 or 3 chances at the first half, and then we sent to carry that on into the second half. So, all credit to Bradford. They took the chances, and we really didn't, to tell you the truth.
But, crucially, you did at the end.
Yeah, we got a point out of it, but I'm sure it's a point lost. We had 6 or 7 chances of scoring and never really finished off. But we've got something to work on. We'll have to just take a point.
OK, thanks very much indeed.
Right now, a reminder of the great choice of live sport coming up for you tonight on Sky Sports 1 from 8 o'clock, live Spanish football, Celta Vigo against Deportivo. At 9 o'clock on Sky Sports 2, there's live US Tour golf from day 3 of the Shell Houston Open. There's live greyhound racing here on Sky Sports 3 from 8, and live Test cricket, the West Indies against South Africa, over on Sky Sports Extra. And a quick reminder now that on Wednesday, Rugby League World returns, and if you've not caught the programme in 2001 yet, this is the sort of thing you've been missing.
The new season has arrived, and what a year we have in store right here on Sky Sports, your Rugby League channel.
The players have to take responsibility. At least we will take responsibility, and will continue to do so to develop the image of the game.
Was it true that Widnes offered you the position of player coach last week?
More chance of me covering myself in raspberry jam and walking through Salford naked.
By the time I'd finished, I agreed with it.
Hold on, we're not talking about... I don't know where this programme's going tonight.
If there is anyone out there, absolutely anyone, willing to send Phil Clark some fan mail, will you please do it? I can tell you, it really would make his day.
Join us Sky Sports 3 for Rugby League World Wednesday then. Wednesday night at 8:30, Cup Final preview. 24 all here at the Boulevard. What a fantastic match. The man of the match, adjudged by Phil and Steve-O. Henry Paul for his 6 goals. He wins the Tissot watch. There he is, and he's with Bill.
Henry, congratulations. There's the watch that you win as man of the match. And that was some tough match, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Tissot. Credit to both teams, you know. We really gave everything. Future holds a big future for us now, and we just got to keep plugging away. No easy games in the Super League.
As a workout for the Challenge Cup final, that was pretty hard going as well, wasn't it?
Really tough, you know. They credit to Hull. They played well at the home ground, and we could have snuck it at the end, but my kick went wayward. So, I think fair effort. They really stuck in there. We were probably poor in the first half, came back in the second half, but fair effort today. I think a draw, and hopefully we'll do well against them back at the Valley Parade.
Well done. Thanks a lot.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
David Burke of Wolverhampton has picked out Henry Paul's display as a man of the match winner. And David Burke, you're off to Old Trafford on the 13th of October for the Tetley's Super League Grand Final. Hull and Bradford have served up an absolute treat here, Steve-O. It was a joy to be here.
Yeah, what a game, and credit to both sides. Though I must feel that Bradford will feel somewhat fortunate, even though they were leading by a 12-point margin at one point, is the fact that they've got 1 point, because when you look through the stats, Hull had six opportunities to score a try and either turned down by either a forward pass or the video replay. So I must feel that Sean McRae will feel perhaps they've lost one particular point. But maybe a little bit better from both sides. It was a bit scrappy to start with, but it certainly was a tough encounter. Phil Clark, you've seen both sides now that are playing on the weekend, Bradford and St Helens. Who will be best prepared?
Well, Bradford have gone away from here winning a point, but I think they could have lost a few players. So many players coming off and looking as though they've got serious injuries. That'll be a worry for them in the week. A lot of work for the physio to do to get them right for next weekend. I think Saints, they won't put up a performance next week like we saw against Warrington last night. So I expect them to bounce back, just completely erase that from their memory, and I expect a far better performance. I always fancy Saints, although that won't make me very popular in Bradford. I just think they've got that ability in the big games.
Fair enough, thanks Phil, but you know, when you look at this match here tonight, Steve-O, OK, Bradford maybe had their eye on the Challenge Cup final. St Helens certainly did last night, but Hull, they have got one thing in mind and one thing alone, and that is getting to Old Trafford on the 13th of October, and it'll be a few clubs who'll come here and struggle.
Oh, without a doubt, it's always difficult when you come here to the Boulevard, but I think they've got a great team spirit here. It's sort of just been developing over the last 2 seasons. They got great players as well. I thought that Paul Cook had an outstanding game, but the forwards, especially Craven, they really took it to him. No side will be looking forward to coming here. That I can assure you of.
Yes, they have showed some fighting qualities, haven't they, Hull? And the Boulevard is not going to be an easy place to come. Now then, Rugby League World on Wednesday at 8:30, Sky Sports 3. Told you about this already, but it is a special Challenge Cup final preview edition. We'll also be looking back, of course, to all the action from the Super League this very weekend. And then next weekend, well, before the event at Twickenham, how about joining us for the next live match from the NRL? It's St George Illawarra against the Newcastle Knights. It's next Saturday, 10:30 on Sky Sports 2. Sean McRae will join Chris Warren. And then next Saturday night, Phil and Bill will be here with the highlights of the Challenge Cup final, 10:30, Sky Sports 1. Been a privilege to be at the Boulevard tonight, an absolutely fantastic game. We've thoroughly enjoyed it. I trust you have as well. Bye-bye. Away for Hull. He's got Rayner in support. Campbell has taken them on his own. He's gone the wrong way. Jason Smith carved out through the gap. They're flooding forward. Tony Smith. Jason Smith, they're loaded left. He's through one, there's a chance here, and he's in, Richard Fletcher. Those to Robbie, this is Forshaw.
Sensing its surroundings, the new Citroen C5 offers lights that work automatically, wipers that know when it's raining and how hard, Hydractive 3 suspension that really does read the road, and EBA, emergency braking assistance to slow you faster. The new Citroen C5, technology as it should be, 100% useful.
JJB, the official England sports stores, brings you the new England home kit. Support the nation with JJB in the new England home kit. Available in all JJB stores from St George's Day, Monday the 23rd of April. Go England! JJB and England, a winning team.
And on your right, ladies and gentlemen, the Sherlock Holmes Museum, still family run by Sherlock Holmes' great-great-grandson, Eamon. Soho originates from Soho, an old Victorian greeting once made to the ladies frequenting this area. The original Millennium Dome. A Piccadilly circus was actually a circus in ancient times, and the remains of an elephant, 2 clowns and a bearded lady were excavated from here in the 1960s and can now be seen in the British Museum, along with a rare collection of 19th century royal facial hair.
The Army has over 1,400 career paths open to school, college and university leavers. Signals operator is just one of them. If you've got what it takes, take it further. Call 08457 300 111 and ask for a free Army career video.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Oh, hello.
At UPS, we don't just go by the book to deliver your package on time. We go beyond it.
You know, every house has an extra room that no one thinks about. It's called a garden. First, get the flooring right. Paving looks nice. And decking. Then, coordinate the walls and the furniture.
We're driving down the cost of DIY. This job cost £636, 51 less than last year.
All you need now is the right lighting.
You and B&Q.
Starting tomorrow, the Sunday Telegraph European Cities Travel Guide. Crammed with the latest information about exhibitions, fashionable hotels and bars. It tells you what even the locals don't know about their own city.
Go away.
And you can fly to Europe with BMI British Midland from only £49. The Sunday Telegraph, Sundays to a T.
Oh, at least the taxman doesn't get his hands on my savings.
Always wanted to see this. So I took a break from paying my pension.
1 million members lean on Royal Liver. And with no outside shareholders, no one leans on us for profits.
It's nice to have something to fall back on, just in case.
For tax-free savings, flexible pensions and insurance, lean on the Liver.
A great choice of live action for you now. Spanish football on Sky Sports 1, Test cricket on Sky Sports Extra, greyhound racing next, here on Sky Sports 3. This is Sky Sports 3, live.
The beautiful city of Glasgow is the backdrop for one of greyhound racing's most valuable events, the Regal Scottish Derby held at the historic Shorefield Stadium. And what a lineup we've got for tonight's final. There's a sensational Sonic Flight who's recorded the 2 fastest times in the competition so far. Irish Puppy Derby winner Drew Fitzvieri is unbeaten at Shorefield and he may go off favourite tonight. Local hope Glengar Visit boasts terrific early pace but may just lack that touch of class. Sunderland track record holder Harsu Super is now showing he can win races away from his favourite track. The consistent Droopy's honcho, Paul Young's second runner in the final, is Vieri's litter brother. An ARC runner-up No Can Walls has been thrilling the crowd with some storming finishes. The bookies make it a match between Sonic Flight and Droopy's Vieri, and it was Paul Young's dog that took the honours when accounted for Sonic, No Can Waltz, Rapid Ranger and Toblerone Boy in that epic second round heat last Saturday. So it's either money each of two, but will Vieri score or could Sonic fly to victory? Well, the track here at Shawfield's only half a mile or so away from Celtic Park. They've got plenty of silverware this year, of course, having already won the Scottish League Cup and the Scottish Premier League. And the owner of tonight's big race will take away a nice piece of silverware as well. One of the biggest trophies in greyhound racing is up for grabs in the Regal Scottish Derby final. That's our feature race on the card tonight. Good evening to you. Welcome to Shawfield Stadium here in Glasgow for a fantastic night's racing, again on Sky. One of 7 races, of course, that feature. The other 6 make up an excellent card as well. We start with a very good sprint in round about 7 or 8 minutes' time. We have a marathon as well at 9:25, and the 9:43 is tonight's big feature as well, the Regal Scottish Greyhound Derby. There are no non-runners to report on tonight's card. It's the first time Sky cameras have been here to Glasgow. The first thing we have to do, of course, is check out the track. What better way to do that than talking to the racing manager, Alec McTaggart. Our reporter is Nick Millard.
Scottish Derby final night, Alex. It's your big night of the year. We've had a little bit of rain beforehand. The track looks in pretty good nick.
It's in perfect nick. It's been well watered this morning. There's a touch of water on it today. Hopefully the rain will stay away for tonight. It should be running probably about 20-30 fast. We'll see some fast times tonight. And how's this track going to favour runners? It looks a fair galloping circuit. It's a good galloping circuit. You need a good dog that can stay. It's a big long back straight for them. It suits the powerful running dogs. Sprint types are no good for the track. You need a real good staying dog for the track. Now, we've got a different hare here than we see a lot of tracks around the country. There's going to be 1 or 2 dogs seeing it maybe for the first time. How are they going to handle it? Yeah, well, it takes a bit of getting used to the hare. I mean, it's the Sumner hare which runs above the ground, unlike the Swaff McGee hare that runs along the ground. But most dogs do take to it. You got the odd one that doesn't take to it, but it's just they know what they're coming up to. They know what they're racing against here. They know that is the Sumner here, and they usually give the dogs a trial round, different tracks down south, to give them a look at the hare before they race up here. Yeah, there's a big Southern Challenge coming up there, especially obviously in the big one itself. Which one of the 2 big ones do you fancy there? Well, with the trap draw, I just fancy the one dog, Sonic Flight. But I think it'll be very open. If it misses a break, it'll have it all to do. I don't think we'll have the area start if that leads it. OK, Alex, many thanks, and hopefully we'll have a good night. Thanks very much. Cheers.
Well, we've got good and bad news about tonight's racing. The bad news is it could be raining a little bit later on. The good news is there's no Hobbs's Choice tonight. Good evening, Jonathan. How are you?
Evening,
you
Dave.
will come back, though, on Tuesday.
Yeah, the concept is being revamped and it will return.
But a great Derby final tonight, isn't it?
Fantastic. What a race in store for the big event. And Sonic Flight versus Drew.